Hey, hello everyone, Bruno here, and today I want to talk about something that I was looking ways to automate this, which is, hey, let's generate architectural diagrams for our .NET Aspire solutions. And Copilot can help, Copilot can do a lot of things, but if we put in the table also some Mermaid and MCP servers, Playwright MCP servers, and now the coding agent, we can do amazing things. So full code is going to be in the description. You can take the prompt, the samples, and more. Remember, subscribe, like, and let's go for the demo. So let's take a look at basically the starter kit that we have with .NET Aspire, where we have a front end, we have a back end, and this is the program, the app host from Aspire. If we want to have a dependency and architecture graph from here, we can do a couple of things, like an example, create an architectural diagram from this. So this is going to be kind of an easy one. I'm going to ask to analyze the app host and create an architectural diagram using ASCII. And it's going to create something ugly like this, which is kind of nice. It's a fun one to do. But if I want to include this as part of documentation and more, and I'm all about try to automate the process of generate documentation, what I did here, I created a couple of markdowns that have a little more details on what to do here. So as you can see here, I am going to create a prompt that is going to analyze the whole solution, is going to analyze the project, is going to create a new document file that is going to have a format, including the day, including the year, month, date, hour, seconds, more. Also include the ASCII diagram with this, and I can run this. And this is going to take some time, but when I run this, I really like that we also have the option, and we are going to have a question that, hey, using Playwright, the MCP server, launch the application and take a screenshot. This is super cool to have. And then at the end, create a couple of instructions and notes about create the markdown, need to be well structured and more. So what I can do, and I know that there are better ways to do this, I can go back here to Copilot and agent mode, and I can say run the prompt in, and I am going to select this file. By the way, I know that there are better ways to do this. I can create an instructions files and more. This is just for the demo, but I can ask Copilot to do this. I'm going to ask also do not take screenshots. So I'm going to do this, and to avoid the first question, which is going to be, hey, do you want to have the screenshot and start Playwright and more? No, let's do this. Let's do that later. So it's going to start to run, and as we can see here, it created the docs folder, and it's going to create the new markdown folder. I didn't take the hour, time, and seconds. That's why I leave my hour here, so you can take a look here of what we have. But the demo didn't took the hour, but hey, it's going to work. I'm going to wait some time here, and hey, let's wait for the result. And we are back, and we can see here that we have the document generated and including the ASCII file. Let's zoom out a little, where we have the app host that is orchestrating the web, the backend, and more. It's kind of nice. It's working there. We have this up and running. But we can do more. I mean, ASCII is fine, but what's happened? Let's make this a little more complicated. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to delete the two files, and I am going to show we have another prompt here. Let's zoom this a little more so we can take a look. And I am going to move myself also here. So this new prompt, what is doing? It's literally the same as the other, but is going to also generate diagrams using Mermaid chart. And this is kind of interesting because we can generate the diagram using ASCII diagrams or Mermaid chart or both. So when we start to do this, this prompt is going to ask literally the user to, hey, choose what do you want, ASCII, Mermaid, or both. And in order to do, Mermaid is going to use a Mermaid chart, a Mermaid MCP that we have that is part of a solution. Is going to be on the video. If you want to add it here, we have the MCP Mermaid server. But the important part is that let's also make this a little more complex. We don't want the standard one. I am going to go to the app host, and I am going to change the program. Remember that we have here just the front end and the back end. And I'm going to change this a little to a more real application where we have a SQL server. We are going to have also a Redis cache. The back end is going to use the SQL server. The front end is going to use the Redis cache. And this is going to run and do more. So this is a more complex program, a more complex scenario. I don't want to run this right now because it's going to take some time, but yes, let's give it a try to see what we have. And in the meantime, because we are running this with MCP Server, one of the cool things, and as I said, I don't want to run this, it's going to take probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I can choose this new one. Let's clean the Copilot chat, and I can say run the prompt. I can run this. I can use this prompt, say use the new mermaid and run the prompt, use both scenarios and do not take a screenshot. But instead of running locally, I am going to run this using Coding Agent. This is a new feature that we have in Visual Studio Code and it's available right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, hey, run this in the cloud. It's going to ask me permissions. Do I want to include changes? I am going to, yes, include changes because we have this new program file. So we have a remote branch. Let's keep in the branch. And because it's going to take some time, when it starts, we are going to see here that it's creating a new pull request. This is going to be the pull request number 4. It's assigned it to myself and Copilot. That makes sense. And it's basically going to start to work with everything. Copilot is going to start the session. This is going to take 1 minute or 10 minutes. And what we can do now here, if we go here to the pull request and we open number 4, which is this, the one that we have right now, we can take a look here and see that, hey, Copilot is working, it's going to take some time. And in the session, we can see, hey, right now it's starting to cook, it's starting to warm up everything. And good news, Copilot Agent right now use fewer premium requests, which is amazing because I run out of premium requests all the time. So this is kind of nice and cool. And while it's working, let me show you the output of one of these. What is happening when this finishes? So I already ran this. Let me show you one of the completed mermaid. So this is the complete using ASCII, where we can see that we have the front end, the back end, Redis, and SQL. And we also have the complete using Mermaid, where we have kind of a super nice orchestrator with Aspire, and then it's called the front end. The front end is using the Redis cache, and it's using also the SQL Server. We have a lot of options here. And the cool part is that, hey, we can even extend everything that we have. And by the way, this is all generated by Copilot. If you go to the repo, you can take a look at the prompts that there are 2 here, use them if you want. You can copy, paste, and adapt this to your own scenario, and also take a look at the pull request. I'm going to leave the pull request here. So if you want to take a look how this is working, how are these pull requests working, you can even go here and take a look at the samples. And a final note here before closing is that, hey, we have here the plan that Copilot is going to follow, and we can see here that it's going to analyze the structure, examine it's going to analyze everything that we have here. Check, I have some Python script to do the generated by Copilot, to generate the Mermaid JS stuff, and then I understand everything. And after a couple of minutes, it's going to be done. So again, it's super useful to have here. And hey, we even have some Sergio Friedel Copilot to win a gift card. This is cool. This is nice. And at any moment, we can do more. By the way, in the view session, we can see everything that this Copilot doing right now. So right now it's in the step like this, generated script to execute the prompt instruction programmatically, and it's going to run this with everything. It's super cool, super amazing. I hope you like it. And yes, I fast forward a lot of times during the session. We didn't have time to wait 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there to see everything up and running, but this is also part of the interesting part. What I really like, really, is to drop this into Coding Agent, go back to do other stuff, and then get back and check the output of the agent. It's really amazing. So remember, subscribe, like, tell everybody about this, and see you next one. Goodbye.